Hello everyone, I welcome you in the virtual classroom of business environment. We are discussing the last unit of our syllabus, that is international institutions. In this unit, four institutions we need to discuss, that are IMF, IBRD, WTO and EU. We have completed the first institute, that is IMF, International Monetary Fund. And in today's lecture, we are going to discuss IBRD, popularly known as World Bank. This is the symbol of World Bank. Now, let us see in detail the introduction to the World Bank. We have seen the introduction of IMF. As I at that time I told you that this is about the period when Second World War was completed. After Second World War, the disastrous situation, the total destructions were there where the Second World War was played. After that, there was no trust relationship between any country. No any country was trusting any other country, and due to that reason, there was no import-export relation. The world economy was in great depression because of every government has chosen to have a closed economy where no import and exports are there. But in this situation, in that condition, world cannot grow. In isolation, no any country can grow. For the growth of a world economy, there has to be a world trade relation with each other. There has to be import and export. And due to that reason, a wise people from the world get together at one place in USA, that is Hampshire. That what we have seen in the introduction of IMF. And there they have done a meeting, they have done a discussion, and as a conclusion of the discussion, they have decided to establish two institutions. First were IMF and the second were IBRD. So IMF and IBRD are known as sister concern of each other. Both has got birth on the same day. Both purposes are slight different, both form functions are slight different, but their motive is to have world economies development. So the history of World Bank and the history of IMF both are same. Still, let us see the introduction. The World Bank was established in December 1945 at United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference that was held in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. It opened up it opened for business in June 1946. It has started its operation in June 1946 and helped in the reconstruction of nations devastated by World War II. As I have told you earlier, the purpose of IMF and IBRD is to have world's development, world economies development. And for that, firstly, they have decided to the area which has faced the deconstruction, which has faced the disastrous situation in the Second World War. So, with the help of World Bank, they tried to reconstruct those countries back. Since 1960s, the World Bank has shifted its focus from advanced industrialized nations to developing third world countries. You just take a look where this World War II was played. It was in the European continent, and the major deconstruction, the major destructions were there in the European countries only. With the help of IMF and the World Bank, in today's scenario, the situation, the present development status of these European countries are very good. They are considered as the advanced industrialized country, and the countries which were on a good state after Second World War, they are not too good as compared to these European countries. So due to that reason, now World Bank has shifted its focus from advanced industrialized countries, now from European countries, to developing a third world countries, means the underdeveloped countries. Let us see the capital resources of World Bank. The initial authorized capital of World Bank was $10,000 million. Initial capital was $10,000 million, which was divided into 1 lakh shares of 1 lakh each. Divided into 1 lakh shares of 1 lakh each. In million, there are 6 zeros. Million means 10 lakh, and 10,000 is already there. So 6 plus 4 is equal to 10 zeros. And here 1 lakh means 5 zeros, and 1 lakh each means again 5 zeros. So 5 plus 5 becomes total 10. So the authorized capital of World Bank is divided into $10,000 million, divided into 1 lakh shares of 1 lakh dollar each. The authorized capital of bank has been increased from time to time with the approval of member countries. Initially, there were lesser members in the World Bank, so lesser needs were there. But as the member countries increase, their need also increase, and due to that reason, they collectively gave consent for increasing the authorized capital of World Bank from time to time. On June 30, 1996, the authorized capital of World Bank was $188 billion, out of which $180.6 billion, means total 96% of the total authorized capital, was issued to the member countries in form of shares. Means only 4% is unissued, 96% is a issued capital. Earlier, it was $10,000 million, which increased to $188 billion. Then, member countries repay the share amount to the World Bank in following ways. 2% allotted to the shares repaid in gold, either in gold or in US dollar or in SDR. SDR is nothing but the special drawing right, the currency of IMF. Then 18%. Every member country is free to repay 18% of its capital in its own currency. 2% in either of this gold, US dollar, and SDR. 18% in own currency. So 18 plus 2 becomes 20%, and the remaining 80% share deposited by the member countries only on demand by the World Bank. The remaining 80% share deposited by the member country only on demand by a World Bank, means at the point of issue you need not to pay the 80%. When the World Bank demands, at that time you need to pay. Objectives of a World Bank: to provide long run capital to member countries for economic reconstruction and development. In IMF, we have seen that IMF gives help for the short term development only. So, for long run development, there is an IBRD, World Bank, whose objective is to provide loan for the economic reconstruction, means for the economic well-beingness of the member countries and for the infrastructural development. To induce long run capital investment for assuring balance of payment equilibrium. Balance of payment is a statement where the inflow and outflow of the foreign capital is shown. Simply, it is a relation, it is the incoming and outgoing way of the capital with the other countries. Simply shows the relation, the economic relation with other countries that are depicted on a balance of payment, where the balance of payment is in equilibrium when we are having both import and export on a equal, on a balanced basis. And when it will be on a balanced basis, if we are having long run capital investment. So, for promoting the long run investment, for the objective is to ensure the long run for assuring the balance of payment, equilibrium, and balanced development of international trade. For happening this both balance of payment equilibrium and balanced development of international trade, they are inducing the long run capital investment in our member countries to provide guarantee for loans granted to small and large units and other projects of member countries. The World Bank also provides not only provide loan but they also provide guarantee. If any private loan giver is there, then World Bank becomes the guarantor that your loan will be repaid with interest. Your loan is on a safe hand, and due to the guarantee of World Bank, even the loanable amount increases because the loan provider finds the lesser risk in giving a loan. To ensure the implementation of development projects so as to bring about a smooth transference of from wartime to peace economy. To ensure the implementation of development projects, wherever development projects are there, at that time World Bank will be there to give you the loan, to help you in getting loan from the developed countries by being a guarantor, so that a country can move from a wartime economy to peacetime economy. If a country is in an underdeveloped phase where the most of the population is facing hunger, they are not getting basic needs, then definitely the mental state of that population becomes very low. Due to that reason, they may provoke to the terrorist activity, which results into wartime economy. If it will not happen, if we don't want to let this happen, then indulge them in doing an economic activity. If they will having a well set of the economic life, if they are getting the basic necessities regularly, they are developing, then they will never get diverted on a terrorist activity. They will choose a peaceful life when the development is there. Then, to promote capital investment in member countries by following ways. First, to provide guarantee on private loans or capital investment. As I told you earlier, World Bank not only gives loan, but whenever the private loan provider is there, World Bank plays a role of guarantor. If private capital is not available, even after providing guarantee, that even if the World Bank gives the guarantee that your loan is safe, sometimes the private loan is not available, then IBRD provides loan for productive activities on considerate conditions. Then IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, another name of World Bank, itself provides loan, but then they will decide the considerate conditions on their own. So here the objectives of IBRD World Bank got over. Now let us see the functions of World Bank. The World Bank provides various technical service to the member countries for this purpose. The bank has established the Economic Development Institution and a staff college in Washington. You know that why any country's economy is not much developing, because the edge human resource within an economy is not that much fruitful, or they are not that much skilled one. So for providing them skill, for providing them training, the World Bank has itself a college. They have established the Economic Development Institution, where the officials of the member countries are given training on how to manage the economy in their country, how to frame different policies, and that institution is established in the Washington. Then the second function is about bank can grant loans to a member country up to 20% of its shares in paid up capital. We have seen in the capital resources that bank gets resources from by issuing the shares, and 96% is the issued capital, and each country is having their own share in the World Bank. So depending on the paid up share capital, depending on our paid up capital, World Bank provides 20%. Out of that 20%, World Bank provides loan. The quantities of the loan, interest rate, and the terms and condition are determined by bank itself. Whom to give loan, how much to give loan, what should be the interest rate, what should be the other terms and conditions, everything will be decided by bank. And you know what? That for one loan to another loan, from one country to another country, this everything, the quantity of loan, interest rate, and the condition differs. So we can say that in some of the cases, or in most of the cases, World Bank does the partiality. They favor some of the countries, and they give a partial treatment to other countries by charging higher interest rate or by giving the lesser amount of loan. Then the next functions are, generally, bank grants loan for a particular project duly submitted to the bank by a member country. If we want a loan from bank, and take a general example, that if any of the individual want to start a business and they want to take loan from a bank, what is the procedure? The general procedure is, you need to present papers to the bank that what kind of business you want to do, what are your predictions, how much sales is there, how much revenue you are going to generate. Likewise, you need to put a project before the bank, and if bank find that project fruitful, then they will give you the loan, otherwise no. So in individual level this is there, then at the World Bank level where the countries are getting loan, at that level also this is the procedure. Say for example, if India wants to take a loan for any of the road development procedure, then they need to put project before the World Bank. Then the officials of the World Bank will research out in that project. If they find it fruitful, then they will take loan, otherwise not. Then the debtor nation has to repay either in the reserve currencies. Reserve currencies are SDR, special drawing right, gold, and the US dollar, or in the currency in which the loan was sanctioned. Sometimes you are given loan in your own currency, or in most of the time on a strong currencies like US dollar is there, then euro is there, Japanese yen is there. Some strong currencies are there in which World Bank can grant loan. So in that you need to repay, either you need to repay in US dollar or in any currency in which you have taken a loan. Then bank also provides loan to private investors belonging to member countries on its own guarantee. Bank also provides loan to private investors. It not only provides loan to the government, but it also provides loan to the private individuals in any country of belonging to member countries on its own guarantee. But for this loan, private but for this loan, private investors have to seek prior permission from those countries where this amount will be collected. Suppose being a citizen of India, if you want to take a loan from World Bank, then at least you need to have a permission from the Indian government, where from the countries where the amount will be collected. If the government of a particular country gives permission, then World Bank gives loan to the private investors as well. Here the functions of World Bank got over, and we are keeping today's lecture here only. From next lecture we will see the achievement and failure of World Bank. Till that time, have a great day.